we coming from the true space. We ain't entertaining neighbors, I don't give a fuck what you say. Found the universal coochie, planting seeds and birds fruit. Now I'm really looking juicy. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. Welcome to True Space. My name is Open Book. This is my partner.
Guys, this is Harris, and welcome back to True Space.
Yep, and this is your weekly horoscope. So let's dive into these energies. So on Monday, June 6th, we have Saturn going into retrograde at 25 degrees Aquarius, and Mercury is going direct in Taurus. How do you think this energy is gonna hit us? Well, square.
That's first of all, we've been feeling this tension that was building up for a while with already Uranus in Taurus and then squaring Saturn in Taurus. That been hands down one of the heaviest transit we ever experienced on a physical level, but also on a mental level. So right now with this Mercury going direct in Taurus, this is us revisiting and adding, preparing our toolbox to go into Gemini time, which is where Mercury is gonna go. But first, we have to go through the retrograde. We edit, we analyze about our sense of value. Are we stable enough? Can we fly over? While Saturn was squaring us, making sure that we're taking part of the collective, or are we sure that we know how to serve Saturn? Are we taking part of the collective? Are we taking our part, or are we going against the collective? Are we being more Leo-like, which is gonna gets reflected by the planet Saturn, which is not good. So right now, this entire period was us correlating our values with what's happening with the entire world, the collective.
Yeah, real talk. Our role within all of that association, and how we stabilize in all of that knowledge that is going on right now, and that's especially pairing with the Mercury going direct now, really freeing up, and then Saturn's going retrograde, so it's interesting on that aspect. It's kind of like your mind is starting to work and process a little bit faster, while the world itself is slowing down and coming to a kind of halt. So it's kind of helps giving you that perspective of that dynamic of how you've been mentally organizing what has been practical, and how you've been structuring things without the world coming at you so hard, because it's in retrograde. It's kind of that air where things are slowing down, even though Saturn in itself is already slow.
And like things already feel so slow because we're dealing with fixed signs. So as you're seeing planets go through these signs, it feels like things are not moving at all. And then when you add the square, more tension to something that's not moving, that was gonna make you very frustrated. And then with Saturn going back to retrograde, that's more frustration. You feel like you already can't move, but now you have to move back to.
Real talk. And then I feel like Saturn and Taurus, oh jeez, but yeah, Mercury and Taurus, we already been talking about that new sense of value that's coming out from Mercury being in Taurus, and the eclipse that has happened in that area. But with Saturn, I feel like it's helping us. Since we're starting to talk about what's what we find valuable and stuff like that, I feel like it's like this whole dynamic with Taurus has been exposing a lot of the holes in terms of Aquarius and Saturn in Aquarius, and the roles that we are playing within society, and how we associate with people, or what's practicable, how we look at what's practicable about associating with people, and how we gain stability in that area, and how we collect information. Now we're starting to see a little bit more of the truth behind our associations, if they really hold up and stand the test to our self-value system and on our self-worth. Do we feel valued and self-worth when we jump into this collective energy. And you know, I feel like that's a big dynamic that's playing on with those planets.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, later on in the other alignments in Monday, we have Moon in Virgo squaring the Sun in Gemini. And then Neptune is in Pisces, opposing the Moon during all of that too. So I think that energy is gonna
Man,
hit
we
us.
already, first of all, we already been having this all these difficulties with Neptune and Pisces, giving us all these amount of dreams and illusions and imagination that we could experience, and then we could decide if we want to work on and bring it into reality to make it our sense of unique value and bring it into Earth, Uranus and Taurus. But this Moon and Virgo squaring the Sun and Gemini, and then opposing Neptune and Pisces, I feel there's a lot of confusion because we are already going through these early Gemini degrees, and we had those early experiences with Pisces energy too. That whole me trying to speak about the unseen world, what's happening behind the scenes, but I'm trying to put it into words together because that's what Geminis do best, putting letters, sigils, symbols, and try to walk, talk, and things of that nature through the mind and things of that nature. So right, Moon Virgo, you're in the second quarter of the moon cycle that started in Gemini, where we were learning about how to communicate, argue about our value, Uranus in Taurus, but the moon in Virgo is bringing into that realization of the routine we need, the practicalization, the details that we need to practicalize and not just argue about it, be too airheaded, but actually actualize it and take the Mercury and then internalize it, make come up with practical conclusion about our arguments. That's Mercury, that's Moon and Virgo with Sun and Gemini essentially.
Yeah, yeah, real talk. And yeah, like Gemini, especially Sun in Gemini, has that very curious type of energy where they go and poke to go and collect the information while Virgo goes to analyze. So you can see how that creates that square. Whereas you know, Virgo would be maybe even be worried about the result of things, while Gemini is causing things to happen. You know, and being curious and pushing that stuff out. So that sounds like anxiety. You know, like very anxious type deal where you know it's like you say something and then now you're worrying about it the rest of the day about what you had said and stuff like that. So be careful of that energy. And don't fall into that side of Mercury, aka getting lost in your head. You know, that's heavy, getting lost into your head type energy. A lot of times you gotta trust how you respond in the moment and to be able to let things go. Like you don't have to hold, like that's the thing with Gemini. Like niggas is always trying to hold Gemini to the shit that they said, to the shit that they do. It's like have you not met Gemini? Do you not see like that flaky type of energy? Not even, don't even want to call them flaky, but the just that mutable, very float in the moment type energy. Virgo's not like that. Virgo's very calculated. Virgo's very analytical. So how you respond in the moment may not necessarily align with what you were trying to emotionally get off. And then yeah, you're right. Pisces is over there just creating putting a whole confusion fog over it. You know, now you might start to conflict your emotions into it. You know, start attaching other emotions that you have for other things into this situation, to confuse other emotions that you have for other things into that situation because you went and over worried yourself. Like yeah, this is fucked up energy that you can get lost in. Um, that's for sure. And it's all confusion. It's all mutable as signs too. So it's like you could really get lost between the lines of things. So it's so to really, especially like what I was saying with Gemini, like you need to stop taking Gemini serious. Gemini season, you need to be a little bit more lighthearted. You need to be a little bit more looking on the surface, just looking at things as they are. So even though you may have that analytical urge or that urge to make things make sense, you know, still remind yourself to look at things in a lighter sense and to try not to worry. so much, because the positive side of that that's Mercury
Mm-hmm.
energy right there. So you may even be able to mentally analyze or process something, hella, just Mercury. That's the magician right there at
Mm-hmm.
full work. Whereas you just said something, you didn't even think about it too much, and then the person then replied, and then now you have this information that you wouldn't have gotten if you just said something. You don't even know why you said that. Now Virgo analyzes it and sees all the ways this can lead to practicality. I can use this to go and do this, do that, and this, that, and the third. So it can end up being really positive if you give space for your mind to breathe.
That's a very important thing that C just said right here. Giving yourself a room to breathe with all the mutable energy.
Exactly. Since we're talking about Mercury too, it's like even literally, like breathe. Give yourself some room to breathe for real. And then we have the moon in Virgo trining Uranus in Taurus. How do you think this is
So
gonna end?
after you figuring out right now how to fully practicalize, put these things you're arguing about dealing with your unique sense of value you're trying to develop. So in Virgo right now, you're trying to tell people, uh, I have developed an actually detail orientated service that I can argue about, communicate about, and take it outside to the second stage second stage of this air realm, Libra, the seventh house. But first, I gotta go through Gemini. But right now, I'm having this trine with Uranus in Taurus. It's gonna provide me with the opportunity to take all these ideas that I downloaded because the sun went through Gemini to bring it to Uranus in Taurus to fully practicalize it. All these new ideas that I exposed myself into, and Virgo I could take in, practicalize, internalize. Then Uranus in Taurus could like electrify it, push the whole new sense of reality. But it's really based upon how far you're willing to travel with the sun and Gemini, and that's what Moon and Virgo were able to perfect, and then give those to Uranus in Taurus to electrify and change your physical world.
Change what's real. It's kind of like if Capricorn is the business itself, the business plan. Taurus is the product, and Virgo's the market. What you just said sounds like you going to the market, analyzing the market, seeing how things sell, and then going back to go and revising the product to go and see whatever tweaks that you can make to make it work better on the market stage.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like that's the type of energy that's playing out in terms of you making sense out of things. Now you're understanding the changes, especially and then going around. So it's like as it's going around and as the sun's going through, we're understanding different
Mm-hmm.
aspects. But yeah, this time around, we're kind of starting to see how we can make sense out of that, make sense out of how we feel, even come up with new structures or schedules and stuff like that, and new habits that you can do to like what you were saying, yeah, make it more physical, or for you to understand the market in a better way, for you to go and revise the product, so that the value stays there. So that's something that kind of aligning your finances too, or finding an opportunity in how you emotionally respond to something, maybe a worry you have, or something that you had noticed. Lets you know some uh, gives you an opportunity of gaining more stability.
Mm-hmm.
See that playing out like that.
Just don't put yourself on the
In conjuncting,
yeah, just don't put yourself on the negative side where
yeah.
you're gonna end up worrying or over analyzing about sudden changes. You're definitely gonna flunk yourself out. On Moon and Virgo trying your answer in Taurus, you will look for all opportunities just to be nervous.
Yeah, yeah, real talk. Especially since everything that is stable is changing. Taurus is going through that change, and it's kind of unsure, or it's kind of eccentric, or you don't know what's gonna happen and stuff like that. You could be flunked, easily get flunked out, but as the Virgos in you, it's just like relax, nigga. Analyze this shit. There's information in here that you can utilize to be more concise, so you can get the most out of the fruits that and seeds that you had planted. Hmm. And then yeah, and then there's a what the moon is in conjuncting Mars and Aries. How do you think
So
that's hitting
like
you?
here, you're attempting to be much more like you're putting yourself in a, like a manager in position, which going through this like in conjunction with Mars in Aries. Well, because Mars is coming up from this conjunction with Jupiter, giving this extra boost to jump off this Jupiter like trampoline of expansion to allow you to experience more and extract knowledge and wisdom. So definitely watch out for those little aggressive moments during the day while you're attempting to analyze certain things that might go wrong and might kick off the Mars in Aries really.
Yeah, real talk. Real talk. I find like yeah, Virgo's always just looking at Aries like what is he doing? Like it doesn't understand uh why Aries just jumped into that. It's like Virgo's like, did you not just see that trap that was laid out? It's like, but then the Aries done figured out in the moment. The fly jumped over the trap or whatever, and then Virgo is like, oh, I didn't think of that because they didn't set that thing forward. So it's like they definitely need each other in some
Mm.
aspect. But yeah, yeah, that's Monday. How Monday's looking like? Um, yeah, looking at Tuesday, June 7th, the moon is in the later degrees of Virgo, making a trine to the North Node and Mercury in
Mm.
Taurus. Also making a trine to Pluto and Capricorn. So this is a very intense day, especially emotionally. Our emotions is coming into a lot of conflict with a lot of stuff. How do you think this
So
is
right
hitting us?
now, you first you had this trying with Uranus and Taurus to get the new downloads, the new ideas that you need to change your Earth situation, so you can have more money, more asset, to feel more comfortable, more stabilized, and things of that nature. So the Moon in Virgo right now is trying the North Node, is telling, hey, I got this idea from Uranus in Taurus. I'm ready to go towards my North Node path, my the unknown. But since it's still more of the unknown because it just went direct and we had this period which was retrograding for a while with the Mercury retrograding. But after we bring in this plan to the North Node in Taurus, right now Pluto in Capricorn is ready to change everything because with reformatting, retaking everything, refixing everything in us in Taurus, then we're bringing to the North Node. We're going through that. Then Pluto in Capricorn will allow us to transfer our business, make it more easy.
Facts, facts. It sounds like some hard truth, especially because it's Earth.
Mm,
It sounds like some hard truths are going to be realized
mm,
on Tuesday that you may not want to accept, but your environment and what's practical and you being able to maintain uh, an equilibrium is at stake because like North Node and Mercury and Taurus, it sounds like we are thinking and even talking about. We're just mentally organizing around um our path and the directions that we're supposed to go, but to gain especially to gain stability. But it's literally our destiny. But it's an uncomfortable area, and so we're having these uncomfortable North Node conversations about our stability, about what value is and what's going on. And then Virgo is helping giving us that analytical aspect, or at least helping us make sense out of how we emotionally feel about this discussion that's going on. And then Pluto and Capricorn is right there priming, giving us the energy to make the transformations that is needed for it all to come together. So I feel that you could find some really hard truths. Taurus and the North Node and Mercury and Taurus, you'll be talking and thinking about it, maybe mentally analyze. A thought comes to you, or somebody says something that shows you what you need to do. And then the moon in Virgo is giving you the emotional energy for you to go and organize that in your life, and to analyze and see how you can organize your life on a day-to-day basis that will allow you to do these things, that you can uphold that value. And then Pluto and Capricorn is like, here, Nick, here's your wings, here's that transformation power. I'm switching up everything right now so you can make this transformation. So it's like hard truths, but an alley oop for you to go and accept this. It's like, okay, like you're, say, this is just an example, but say you're a drug addict, but somebody's giving you, all right, you can go over here. You may not have any drugs, but I'll give you, you have all the food you want, whatever. Like making this transition easy for you. But you're a druggie, so it's all right. You're scratching. You still have to go through that tough trial, but you got the alley oop to make it as easy as a transition as possible.
100%.
That type of energy. And then the North Node
Uh,
uh, making a sextile with Neptune.
So, like, as you experience all this heavy earth energy to reformulate your structure from all sides of it, because it's very amazing opportunity that we should take when we have all trines going on. Is give you real opportunities to dive deep on one side of their energy. But as we're getting all this harshness,
Oh yeah, Grand Earth
we
trine.
get all this
Yeah.
hardness in our body, we realize that we gotta be very hard to be able to achieve that dream and illusion that Neptune and Pisces is giving us and telling us, hey, try to give this dream an illusion, meaning and reasoning. See how far that would get you and things of that nature. So like we're preparing the structure for that dream and illusion, because that dream and illusion, depending on how big it is, it needs a capacity to uphold it here.
Real talk. Even connecting, making that connection with that uncomfortable feeling, that path that you need to go with your subconscious mind and your desires and your beliefs. Seeing how that path that is being presented in front of you somehow creates an opportunity for you to feel that subconscious desire, or those subconscious belief systems that you had. It's creating an opportunity for you to bring that into physicality and to actually make that real and tangible within your body, within your senses. You can confirm and feel that belief system in your body, in your senses. I think that's what Taurus is really asking us. The North Node and Taurus is really asking us for us to really get into our body and to to understand the five senses type shit. Like that's the path, and we don't even realize. We think five senses, you smell and all of that. There's levels to this shit in terms of, and that's how deep Taurus goes. That's how hard Taurus is. Your scent, you train that shit. You'll be on some dog type level. You'll be on some crazy type level. You could really on some demon slayer type shit, where these niggas with the breathing techniques and shit like that. Be on that type of level. How Tanjiro could smell and the other nigga can hear and stuff like that. It really be like that. The extent, and that's psychic power in a lot of degrees. It's just the accentuation of those. All I'm saying is that there's a lot to be understood within just those five senses, within just those realities. And North Node and Taurus is making us understand that. But Uranus is making us. It's like all this information's in your body. It's there. Notice.
Exactly why the moon is in Virgo, giving you the capacity right now to analyze it from the perspective of your moon, your emotion being in your digestive system, allowing you to create more awareness in these areas, and having all this earth energy like Caesar is talking about, allowing you to become more aware of your body. But you could become more aware of like better capacities than your five senses through like putting more awareness to like different parts of your body. Do you know what does it feel like to be in your stomach? Have you felt different things? Do you know what it's like to feel in your head? Because a lot of people always say, I'm all in my head, which let us know that you're always in your head. You can't move different areas of your body and things of that nature. So this is a very feely type of energy, really making you realize that like whatever information is out there or whatever knowledge you're looking for, like it's like that deep down here.
Yeah. It's in there. Like you're gonna have like a shoulder pain that lets you know that you need to let that relationship go. That type shit. Like it's really on that type of shit. That type of thing, and you'll know because that's the feeling and vibe that'll be coming out of that or be coming
Hmm.
from that. So yeah, very very earth ground day. You know, with some truths that are maybe hard to accept, but giving you the opportunity for you to fulfill those subconscious desires. Um, Tuesday does look like it's
Okay.
roll up the sleeves. It's like, oh
Okay.
fuck it, all right,
Hmm.
let's get it done. Hmm. And then looking at Wednesday, June 8th, the moon is moving into Libra now, making an opposition to Jupiter and Mars and Chiron in Aries. How do you think this energy
So
is hitting
right
us
now
all?
we finished the first quarter of this moon cycle, the spring aspect of it. Then the second quarter of it dealing with Cancer, how we felt about what we were arguing about. Then Leo, how we gonna entertain it, how we gonna present it to the collective. And then Virgo, how we gonna analyze it, manage it, and take care of it. Then right now we're in Libra, how we gonna socialize it, how we gonna talk about it in such a way that we fitting in to the whole collective while we trying to be friendly, but learning how to be harmonious, knowing that we don't want to injure that sense of self and Cardia in Aries based upon lack of self worth. Because Jupiter right there is right now expanding that area. Jupiter is taking that one neuron and expanding that brain capacity about who you thought you were used to be and things of that nature. But the moon in Libra, you don't want to almost like put down the flame because you're trying to be too harmonious. You could right now you could kill everything that you're building so far. I think it to be so friendly and things of that nature. You need to allow Jupiter to throw at you those experiences that's gonna allow you to expand more and allow you to learn how to be more harmonious based upon what you're expanding on.
Exactly. Especially if you're in that state of being, since it's Jupiter and Mars, it's so fresh in Aries, and they're just starting a cycle right now. There is a lot of energy of maybe people maybe not necessarily knowing so much where they what they want to experience or where they want to direct their passions and going through those novel rudimentary energies of expressing that stuff and trying to figure that stuff out, going through experiences, being exerting your energy and showing your passion about certain things so you can really make sense of that energy, that realm of reality, and you can really catch that spark and bring something to life. So your how you emotionally react to things, if you have all of these relationships, and you trying to be presentable and friendly, and so it's dominating your emotions, you can see how this can stop you from jumping into an opportunity that was going to go and show you something. It's new, and this is with Aries and Mars and Aries, and then the Moon and Libra, trying to pillow coat and everything. Mars and Aries, maybe you did need to pop that nigga in the chin, Maybe you did need to tell them that their breath stink. Maybe you did need to go and put them in their place, and go and tell them the thing that be rash to go and do all of that type of stuff. Then niggas go and be like, oh, why'd you say that? That was me. And you start going, oh yeah, my bad. You start feeling bad about what you expect. Meanwhile, it was true. Meanwhile, that's exactly how you had felt. And meanwhile, that was going to go and create the situation that maybe would be more, you can express that energy a little bit more, aka maybe now they know not to fuck with you. Now they not to go and do all of that, but then you go and placate and you go and be so these are the really a whole bunch of stuff that can come out your relationships and your emotional ties to your relationships. Moon in Libra, that's the Two of Swords in tarot. That's the person who's blindfolded holding the two swords like this, and it kind of means that gullible type of, and if you know Moon and Libra, that's some heavy gullible type of, and because they want to believe, they emotionally want to connect with what it is that you're presenting, because if it seems nice. So it's like a trap where it's like blind following or blind kind of gullibility, because this is what's right. This is what feels right. But Jupiter and Mars, it's not necessarily what feels right now. It's trying to give birth to something. Birth doesn't feel nice. It's rough. It's volatile, and but at the same time, Chiron's there. It's healing. It's rewarding in a lot of sense. Understanding yourself and your individual energy, but this can help you get the ultimate understanding of what you want to go and what you're trying to start, what you're trying to give birth to, and how your surroundings and your relationships respond to that. Giving you that knowledge, be like, so now you can go look at your relationships. Maybe you can assess some things, let some relationships go, or go and restructure your relationships in some type of way. But at least you know how they're going to react to these things. So you can go and decide, oh, is this something that I want to create conflict with, and not be blindsided by that type shit.
100%.
Mm. And then we have what the moon in Libra conjuncting Venus and Uranus in
Mm-hmm.
Taurus. Um, how you think that's hidden?
Man, that's you. We know how the moon Libra could get you. It could get you be very like liberal, like you're ready to fight for the government, the people. You're trying to become like a social justice warrior. You're like you're for the people.
Libra liberal.
like
Oh
uh,
shit,
like
I
like
beat
that's
that
it. It
shit.
goes no further than that. And then you Libras having this in
Yeah, that.
conjunction with Venus, Uranus, and Taurus. You've been developing this unique sense of value for this long ass time. You're trying to be an individual as you walk on Earth. Right now with the Moon in Libra, man, you might let your own people you're in relationship allow them to talk down on that sense of individuality that you're developing with Uranus in Taurus, and Venus is right there about to conjunct it. Now this is your love matter. Now Moon in Libra, some of your friends talking down on what you love and appreciate, and then the in conjunction is making you maybe agree with them, making you go against your own sense of value, because the in conjunction is making you almost see a blind spot. You trying to do things for your relationship, the people you're married to, because they make you feel harmonious, they make you feel good, you're part of the collective, you don't be separated, because Jupiter is right now expanding Aries, and you don't want to look like Lucifer, you don't want to see the light, but and that is things of that nature.
That's facts. Libra never wants to be the
Never.
problem. They don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to point at them. Never, never. They'll never want you to point at them and be like, "You're the blame for this negative situation outcome." That'll break their heart, because that's completely against their intuition, or not their intuition, their intention, but very well what the fuck that they may be doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's facts. Whereas Taurus don't give a fuck. Taurus don't give a fuck.
So, so it's
It's
like
like
as
they
long
want
as
what they
I
want.
have this, I could hold on to this. You could communicate as much as you want. All that shit is useless. You can never touch any of it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can never
real
touch
shit.
any of it. It's not real.
Yeah, real shit, real shit. So you may find yourself in that. Whereas, especially with the moon in Libra, and you're having that, you have this personal infliction to emotionally cater to your relationships. You want emotional balance. You don't want there to be high volatile emotions and stuff like that. So you're right. You may listen to people in your relationships placating and downplaying your value, because whatever they're kicking maybe sound nice, or whatever they're starting the conversation of, something that's fluffy, something that looks nice. But you have to understand yourself as an individual, and this is what we're going through this spring season. This is the whole point of this spring season, so you can understand your own individual energy and how that leads into the collective eventually. But understanding it on an internal level first. What do you value? And understanding that just because
It,
people are have emotionally reacting your relationships, use that as information, or start the question, or to start the conversation about something. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're pointing to holes in something that you value. Maybe they're not even 100% right. Maybe they're 25% right. But you would benefit the most by acknowledging that 20. They could go and disregard the 75%, but you have to acknowledge that 25% so that you can be 100. You know what I
mm,
mean? So not letting it, because of the in conjunction, it may be awkward. It may be disconnect. Oh, they're asking me to do this, but this is what I know I need to do. It's fine to feel like that, but as long as you know what you need to do, and if your relationship's coming in the way. Now you know what you need a structure. Now you know what how you need to come at your relationships to go, and so that you can go and do what you need to do. So that's a lot what you'll be seeing that day.
Libra is about social intellect.
Yeah, yeah. That's facts. Nobody knows that the social realm like a
Mm-hmm.
Libra at
Mm-hmm.
all. Get into all the motherfucking parties. Making all the motherfucking friends. Like, how you friends with this nigga? Walking down the street, they saying hi to the crackhead. It's like, nigga, why do you even know the crackhead? What the fuck? Why you making friends with the crackhead? He's like, oh, me and that nigga shit a burrito. What the fuck you mean you shit a burrito with a homeless nigga? Libra going on all side adventures and shit like that. That's one of the positive shit about Libra in the indecision type shit. You end up seeing a lot of shit that are making a lot of connections.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's that type of energy. That's Wednesday. Looking at Thursday, June 9th, the moon's moving into the later degrees of Libra, making a trine with the sun in Gemini and Saturn in Aquarius. So that's heavy air type
Mm-hmm.
energy. Oh shit. On Jupiter Day too, I think this
This
is
is
finna hit.
after that heavy earth trend that we had, which allowed us to formalize, we practicalize like who we are and what we gonna do. So right now with this air trend, it's almost like you feel it's gonna give you this sense of wings to go fly off, and then trying to view what you're trying to communicate about, which is Uranus in Taurus, and then Neptune in Pisces, dreams and illusion, and then trying to view from much all the air element possibility. Now the moon is in Libra. You're trying to communicate about with the people you're in relationship with, or you're trying to be more aggressive with the communication. Even though Libra is a little bit of a passive sign, but it's a passive sign for society, not for to run away, because they
Yeah.
deal with things by bands, which is a crazy concept for Aries. But with the trine to the sun and then Saturn in Aquarius, this is giving you the ability to like be aggressive, passionate, but also be mutable and flexible with your awareness. While Saturn is giving you the ability to restructure all these things together. So it's almost like you're taking this cloud and you're molding it. If you know how to view all these thoughts properly, and not get lost in all this ideas that you're receiving, and you're seeing the opportunities that you could give structure to these, initiate these, and then get scattered to these. So you want to be very careful on this, like this day, Thursday.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Thursday sounds like all of that energy sounds like you fuck around and find a group, or like and or like a cult, some weird type shit, and niggas accept you instantly. You somehow get to the high ranks of this shit. You just blink, and it's like, how did you even get here into this position type thing. You just going and talking to a guy that goes and leads to a whole new situation that now you're associated with a whole bunch of niggas. That's that type of energy that I'm seeing with those alignments. Yeah, you're so right. Yeah, Gemini makes you so curious, and then Moon and Libra makes you so open and to experiences. So it's like it's highly social, or those are the prime type energies that you need to get into social interactions and to understand them. And then Saturn's helping you organize that in the most intellectual ways possible. So you're right. Hella in the air and hella social, where you're really going to have to probably speak your mind, or even speak in the moment, about things, about what you're focusing on and what you're paying attention to, and what you're trying to grow and build, with the sun in Gemini, where you're giving your awareness to, uh, in a way that other people can relate to, because you're trying to be relatable. So it's not necessarily that Gemini blurt, but it's that information that you had seen as a Gemini, trying to find a way to present this in a positive way, in ways that people would understand. And this is what Saturn and Aquarius wants. Period. You know, it's like you trying to present it. You seeing the information of what it is, but you have to present that in a fluffy way, or it has to be in a presentable way. It can't be rough. And the more you understand that, the more you see in the moment, and you're able to communicate it in a pleasant way, all type of your associates, how you collect information, all of that stuff, you'll be the master of that. You'll be the OG of that type of shit. So there's a lot you can learn about air and communication and how you should organize your mind on Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, in ways that you can utilize to better find a role in society. Maybe it even exposes a role that you can play in society, or how you can look at society to gain stability, and you finding new ways, new ideas for you to go about this way. Somebody says something, a relationship that automatically, creates an opening for you to gain stability in an area you never thought you could have. Join an association group you never thought you would have been a part of. Get access to information you never really even thought even existed.
Mm-hmm.
That type of shit. Thursday's looking hella intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
Intellectual. Looking at, and that's Thursday. Friday, the moon's going into Scorpio, making it in conjunction with the sun in Gemini. Gemini and Scorpio. I love when these niggas get together.
Yeah.
I think I seen a meme, or I heard something where it's like they're trying to say that Gemini and Scorpio are the villains, or are like the main villains, in the story, and wholeheartedly, Gemini's the villain that's jumping out at you, or it's like the excited villain that really wants to manifest what they're doing, and is quick, witty. It's hard. And Scorpio's the villain you didn't know was the villain. It's the hidden villain. The Scooby Doo revealed the
Yeah.
mask, and it was like, oh, is this nigga?
And
Type
then,
energy. But yeah, how do you think this will
and
hit
if
us
you
on
bring a
Friday?
Gemini energy and a Scorpio energy together, you know what you get? You get a psychopath. You
Yeah.
you get the most scary thing you ever seen in your entire life. A depth of darkness, but a depth of lightness at the same time. 100%. So basically, this whole moon in Scorpio right now, we're in the third quarter of this moon cycle. The side with Gemini, side with the new season in Gemini, allowing us to develop our ability to articulate, put words together. So right now, we're taking this new sense of value that we're trying to argue, put words together, trying to communicate about, and then see the deep sense of vulnerability that's holding us back from communicating or trying to be as scattered as possible we can for the sake of learning, but some of our vulnerabilities are making us hold back because we don't want to say the wrong thing. But that's the whole point of Gemini season, to help you develop the awareness of how to utilize your lungs, your respiratory system. You gotta increase your capacity of communication, how long you can talk, and things of that nature. Uh, but in conjunction with the sun, it's almost like we're feeling so deep down there, we're not seeing what we need to put words into.
Yeah, real talk. You could be emotionally reacting to your vulnerabilities, or to your deep connections too. Not wanting to hurt anybody's feelings, not wanting to go against these deep connections that you have. You can easily turn your eyes away to the truth that you're seeing right in front of you, to the truth that you are witnessing, that you're seeing, but somehow something's stopping your emotional connection to these things. You're not wanting to hurt people's feelings. Maybe it's even because Scorpio, we're talking about emotional security. Maybe you're not wanting to rock the boat. Maybe a situation's fragile. You want to keep it lighthearted. You don't want certain emotional aspects to be attacked. But if you bring up, like, just for an example of what I'm talking about, maybe you're seeing someone doing something right then and there. Someone said they're trying to quit cigarettes or some shit like that, and you go and see them smoking. where you want to go, you want to help them, you know, you want to go and say something, but you're doing something that you said you would stop doing too, you know, and you know that they'll go and mention that. Well, why are you doing that? And then telling me, so you don't say it at the end of the day. But that's that alignment, or how it feels. But take in the knowledge that you gain from that in terms of, it's like, yeah, you need to align yourself, bro, or you need to fix up, you know, because you can't be out here. You would have been able to say that and had just expressed that if you had taken care of those vulnerabilities, if you had taken care of what you had behind closed doors. Then there wouldn't be such a discrepancy or such a latency in your communication. You could just communicate. You can be witty. You can be on the fly and not have to worry about exposing yourself. Not have to worry about if this is how you actually feel. You can just allow yourself to be in the moment. So it kind of exposes where it's going to be that little awkwardness. It's exposing, you know, it's like, oh yeah, if I had taken care of that vulnerability, I wouldn't have this communication problem right now. So really making you realize how your insecurities, your you know, your deep seated emotions may prevent you from communicating in the way that you naturally need to. And yeah, that's Friday too. Uh, when we're being hit with all of that energy, which is very interesting. Looking at Saturday, June 11th, the moon, later degrees in Scorpio now, is conjuncting the South Node, so you're getting back to your past and shit like that, and then it's making an opposition to Uranus in Taurus. I mean Uranus and Venus in Taurus. How do you think that energy's
Now
hitting?
we're going through this whole axis, the generative axis of Taurus and Scorpio, allowing us to refill on our what is our sense of value, but also what we need to transform on our emotional side or our vulnerable side of things of that nature. But here right now, Venus is conjuncting Uranus and Taurus, is adding more into the picture. So right now, Scorpio is putting us in a situation with that conjunction with the South Node and Scorpio also, to really also making sure Venus is on point. Venus is not a drug addict. It's not a she's not a crackhead. She's supposed to be just a holy queen. She's to do good things and things of that nature. So that's what the moon in Scorpio making sure of, because Venus guy right now is in this conjunction with Uranus and Taurus, where your love matter, all what you love and appreciate might go to complete shit and might completely change. You might be planning on this plan to make this money, but then the conjunction with Uranus made things go completely sideways for you. And then with the South Node in Scorpio, you see all these vulnerabilities, these dark things. Oh, I can't do nothing in this physical world. I might have to go the shadow government way. I might have to do all type of things. You're really getting scared based off that conjunction with Uranus and Venus. Really, is seeing how far you're willing to go for this new unique sense of value. This is why you need emotional stability. Scorpio, power control, water. Then you'll be power control, earth.
Facts. And you see this, how fragile a lot of people's emotional state of being can be. Say something happens where they break their phone, or they lose their wallet or something like that. A lot of people, and that'll expose it. And you need moments like that, especially if you're a fragile person like that, and watch their emotional security that you thought they were stable just go and crumble. But that goes to show the access of physical stability and your emotional stability. If your body's off, you know, you're gonna emotionally feel off, you know, um, right off the bat. So that's facts of what you're saying right there, about that. And then yeah, even you're having Venus at home in Taurus too, facing the opposite of what it's at in Scorpio. So Venus likes looking at stability, or having these things, you know, it receiving the things that it likes, you know. But the moon in Scorpio, especially with the South Node, is already showing you those connections that you made, or the fragility of those situations, holding you, just like what you're saying, holding you to make sure your emotions are pure, that your emotional stability is pure, so that you'll be able to uphold um, these things. It's like like the dirty work. Maybe the moon, while all the Taurus and stuff is showing you the work, aka the production and all of that. The moon in Scorpio showing you the cleanup crew.
What do you want?
Where it is, niggas go. But yeah, showing you that cleaning crew, that that sweep up and clean that shit up
Listen to
energy.
the Chino Excel last track and last verse. Listen to Chino Excel last verse. My
Cheeto XL, yeah. Don't kill me. But yeah, yeah, just like we were saying, Venus can get very comfortable in that Taurus type situation. So the moon and that vulnerability, man, it's so it's so valuable in order to get our physical stability right. It's almost essential. So don't run away from those uncomfortable stuff, or what makes you emotionally fragile. If you do get into those states of being, you're overwhelmed, you're emotionally fragile, and your emotional security is at stake, man. It's letting you know, it's giving you all the sauce that you need to align your physical world. Because once you get that in check, it's letting you know what things are out of alignment, especially in your physical world, and know that the connection between your physical world directly correlates to your emotions. Water, earth is just a more condensed form and version of water, aka they're both on the yin spectrum, yin energy, receiving type energies, but they're at different levels of that spectrum, aka earth is a little bit more on the yang side. If you're looking at yin to yang type spectrum, water would be here, earth would be here. So it has a little bit more analytical properties to that, or it's like the masculine aspect of yin energy. You can look at it like that. It's like water is like yin yin, and earth is like yin yang type deal. So they really go hand in hand and support each other. So once you align your physical, on reality, all your emotions start falling in line, and you start don't have as much discrepancies, vice versa too. You get your emotions in line. All of a sudden, you're in the mood to work out now, or all of a sudden you're in the mood to clean up, or you're in the mood to go and make dinner instead of going buying. You see how it works out like that. So that's a whole axis that we're gonna be playing with on that
and
day.
like the whole relationship between water and earth, like is very deep. Like this is why when you get thirsty, you drink water because your whole earth body material is made of like the earth element. But a lot of us don't realize that how our earth material is created through the water inside of us. If when you research the term lymphatic system, the lymph term, it's a Greek term meaning water. So back then they called the lymphatic system water system because they knew it was a water system literally. But right now, when you tell it to somebody in the 20th century, they're gonna view it from a whole different perspective. They're gonna think it's this complicated biological system. What does this term lymphatic mean? I don't think I'm capable of understanding this. I can't be a doctor. But it's all about having
Real talk.
a clean water because later on you realize everything in your body becomes a structure through water. Example, your blood cells used to be white blood cells before they no your red blood cells were white blood cells before they became red blood cells. Then your red blood cells they become bone structures through condensing and things of that in nature. But it's really, if you watch a child grow, it's almost like two cells, a white blood cell and a red blood cell, sun and the moon dancing together, separating each other in the bubble all the way for him to create his whole body shape. So
His whole body
Yeah, that's why
shape.
you see
Yeah.
like this whiteness and this redness going on within the womb, or like the baby structure. Like yeah.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. Hmm. All right, and that's Saturday. Well, we also have Neptune in that makes making a trine with all of that energy. So once again, the air of confusion that's just being thrown over there, but it can also be connecting you to that subconscious mind. So um, being in your body once again is so important. And this is what's going to help you ground and really confirm, Taurus, what's real. So and then applying that to your dreams and illusions, so you don't get lost into the mists and the confusion and things like that. You see the emotional vibe, the state of being of what these illusions or beliefs are trying to show you, because you're confirming reality through your body. uh, um, that'll help you get through those experiences and balance that water earth aspect. And then on Sunday the 12th, we having that the full moon in Sagittarius, or it's like the early degrees of that coming up in Sagittarius, making a trine to Jupiter and Aries. How do you think this
So
energy is
right
hitting
now
us?
we at this moment we're gonna fully conclude what we've been communicating about, how we're trying to put words together for this new sense of value that we're developing with Uranus and Taurus, and us having all these dreams and illusion with Neptune and Pisces, but also knowing Pluto wanting us to start this whole new business, this whole new status. So right in the full moon in Sagittarius, we're coming in with the full broad conclusion of reality of all the words and the communication that we did so far in terms of scatteredness to gain more information and knowledge. Right now we're looking and seeing things from a higher meaning and reasoning type of things. We're trying to be much more spiritual. We trying to see things from a much more higher perspective. We're trying to be optimistic. We're trying to see things beyond an analytical mind, beyond trying to be logical, beyond communication. We're truly trying to see through our third eye, which is what Jupiter deals with. And then this whole trying to carry on, and then Jupiter in Aries is adding uh, a more sense of healingness, a more sense of healingness that leads into expansion, because we are learning, we understand the knowledge and wisdom that we need to communicate and put these words together for this new sense of value that we're developing. And then they will allow us to expand Jupiter, expand what we need to initiate, expand that vision and imagination. It's going to help us deal with Kara and Aries.
Yeah, facts. It shows. It's like it's showing, or what we're emotionally responding to is kind of showing us the the broader perspective, or kind of connecting us to the Jupiter and Aries, in terms of showing us our previous, how we emotionally respond to our previous experiences, and the knowledge and wisdom that we already have from what we already experienced and collected, showing us, giving us the opportunity to take this into new experiences. Jupiter and Aries showing us how we emotionally respond to our past experiences and stuff like that can be used and utilized as wisdom to help guide us into giving birth to new experiences that we need to have or go through, for us to gain more experience, more knowledge, and more understanding of our individuality. And then this is all with the sun in Gemini too. Uh, I feel like this is, I like Gemini and Sagittarius, that access. It's funny. Dolo says that the North Node is at home in Sagittarius, and that the South Node is at home in Gemini. It's interesting. The concept behind that is, I think the Sagittarius A, the center of the
Oh,
universe, is in
yeah.
Sagittarius. So that's the direction that we are heading in, you know. So that's why he would say the north node. So whenever we have a full moon on these aspects, and it's it's like awareness in general, and I use that telescope reference or example a lot, but that's Gemini Sagittarius. You looking at the details and then zooming out and then seeing things at a broader perspective. So it's like, how do you put meaning and reasoning? How do you, see the big scope through the little scope? You understand the process of things, or the transition of things, or how do you see the meaning and reasoning and wisdom that you're collecting within the moment? You know what I mean? It's like, how do you do that? It's kind of hard to process these thoughts and to see all these things and then attach meaning and reasoning and wisdom from the experience and shit
It
like
is
that.
quite
Yeah,
crazy because
it's
because
hard to do that.
this is how like the whole axis play out in biology with your Sagittarius being your muscular system and then Gemini being your respiratory system, and we understand how your respiratory system has to bring
Mm-hmm.
more energy, oxygen to combust, so your body could move your muscular system. But sometimes a lot of us move around, do too much things to our physical body, which lead to what us gaining knowledge and wisdom. Why? Because our respiratory system is trying to understand, comprehend what our physical body and the movement is trying to go so far in, and things of that nature. So it's a very deep relationship.
It's hella deep, and what you said was is absolutely right, because the more air you have, the more oxygen you have, the more you're able to utilize your muscles. Same thing with Gemini. The more information that you have, the more thoughts and things the more you have to claim experience from and to put meaning and extract knowledge and wisdom of. But it's hard to do these things simultaneously, and that's what an expert is going to do. An expert athlete, you master the breathing techniques while he's
That's it.
utilizing
That's
his
it.
muscles. So, right, using your experiences in the moment, at the present time, right then and there. It's kind of testing you of that. It's kind of like a boss battle, in a way, using what you learn, being quick-witted with what you had already learned and what you had already built up energy to go and do, which is definitely hard. This is the challenge of that full moon, or that expression, which is going to expose to you what you don't have experience in, and what you need more experience in, and what you don't know, and the information that you don't have, or maybe the hidden details that you may be getting lost in, or the hidden details that you may be getting lost in may be causing you to put meaning and reasoning onto things that don't need to be there. As Gemini Gemini not necessarily always looking for meaning, but Sagittarius always is. So when that's what we're seeing, but we're trying to put meaning and reasoning into things. But if we got lost in the Gemini energy, we were all distracted, we were gossiping, we were getting lost into all of that foo-foo. When it's time to put meaning and reasoning to things, it's on a whole bunch of bullshit. It's on a whole bunch of scattered thoughts. It's nothing that was there. But if you had taken control of your attention and was allowed that curious aspect to be out, and the information that you went and gathered, was you allowed it to be on surface level. You allowed it yourself to respond, on a moment by moment basis. What was most important, what seemed the most factual, not trying to attach all of these other things. But now, once the full moon comes, now you'll see if what you've been paying attention to was actually something. The conversations that you were having, what you can draw from that. But yeah, if you've been drawing nothing but bullshit all Gemini season, that full moon, yeah, you'll know. You'll experience that shit emotionally. You'll
And you
know.
would have a broad conclusion about nothing because you did nothing during this Gemini season. And that's the whole joke behind like Gemini energy. You thought it was something, but it was nothing at all along.
Real shit. Real shit. Really getting lost into the little details. which you could so easy, you're trying to make things straight, make sure there's all straight lines. You forgot the fact that you're trying to draw something. You're trying to draw a dragon or some shit. When you're talking about straight lines, well, maybe there are straight lines in it, but you're trying to draw a dragon. You forgot about that part. So that's where you can get lost to with Gemini when looking at the details. But maybe you can start to understand, the little details, how straight lines can come to build an entire dragon. So it's like there's that duality that's
Another
there.
example is almost like you start this new book and you're reading these few chapters and you realize this all this theory is, but you're in Gemini season, so you love theory, you love ideas. So you tell yourself, you know what? I might need to go outside and practice these ideas. I might need to see the reality, give meaning and reasoning to these papers, these English
Facts.
words. I'm tired of just reading theory. I want to see the broad sense of this book.
That's facts. That's facts. It's funny. I felt like that after reading Sapiens. It was like you're getting so lost into the details. You're reading the details, you getting into that, and then all they said is that we expect, or it's speculated, or it's all of that. You get all these details, like, so these niggas don't know anything. You're just guessing. My guess is as good as yours. It's like, why did I read this whole page? What, nigga? Why did you tell me about this whole story about monkeys, primates? Oh, monkeys do this socially, blah blah. Blah. But at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with you, or it's a guess, or it's an inference. Like, damn, nigga, you could have just said that from
And
the
you
beginning.
but they present it in a
Mm.
way that they look like they came up with a conclusion, but at the end they came up with nothing, just a bunch of words.
It's just a bunch of words, more questions, more questions, nothing certain in it
Yeah,
anymore, They open a whole bunch of doors that you don't even
you
know.
left me more anxious than I was already, which is kind of funny that Gemini energy lead into anxiety for a reason.
Yeah, man. Yo, that's for
All
sure.
all
That's for
scientists
sure.
became scientists 'cause at some point they have some form of anxiety. They're trying to figure out the external world, what's going on out there. And they thought by them becoming a scientist, they're gonna calm down their anxiety. Yo, I'm gonna come up with this idea, put it together, and then present it now. I feel better.
Mm-hmm. 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 Real talk. Real talk. And even communicating those anxieties, having somewhere to put it out and to be curious about it,
And
to
then
experiment it.
go
Yeah, hell
meet
yeah.
other airheads just like me to tell me how airheaded I am. That's it. No further than that.
Yeah, yeah, real talk. Real talk. And at the end of the day, y'all niggas have a maximum amount of funding. Niggas have maximum amount of space. Niggas do it all, the most, but yet you have no way to apply that information. You have studies, up the ass. You know what happens with frogs who take birth control and all of that type of shit. It has studies up the ass, but you still don't know how to apply it to humans. And now you can't bring it to market. That's the type of energy that should
And a
get
great
you.
example is the food pyramid that everybody followed, that everybody knows by heart. Everybody who got involved in that experiment, like I think long time ago, all of them got arrested. Everybody got arrested. Do you know how much money they made out of the food pyramid? And all
Locked
of
up,
them
yeah.
go research all those food experiments and shit like that. Everybody got involved in these things. They got locked up. FBI got involved. Everybody.
Everybody. Real talk, man. So that's how you could get lost into the details of something, but then there be no meaning and reasoning, and you cannot confirm that in your experiences.
Isn't it crazy?
That's what Gemini needs to
You
be
know what's
about.
crazy? The fact that they got our parents lost during that whole internet era with Uranus going towards Gemini, basically. If you
Where Uranus going towards
back
Gemini.
then, yeah, when the internet first came out.
Back then, okay.
We're going through the same thing right now, essentially, with the crypto,
Mhm.
NFTs, because Uranus gonna go from Taurus into Gemini then.
That's facts, and you did get them flunked out because well, it's like connecting them, but it's still within that immediate surrounding type deal too. So it's just your friends and surroundings and type stuff. So they're getting flunked out in their own personal relationships and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Meanwhile, fast forward our generation, it's flunked out with everybody,
Everybody. Yeah.
everybody. And then yeah, Mercury is going back into Gemini too, kind of adding to that Gemini energy. But this would probably help the Sun and Gemini
Mm-hmm.
process this
Yeah.
information because now your mind is operating on that type of level because Gemini is witty. Gemini, it's crazy. Like I see a lot of comedians or even rappers and some shit like that. A rapper coming in and just dropping a bar or something happened and they came up with the line right away. It's like, damn nigga, how does your mind process what had happened? One, I said diddly diddly do, and you said, what a nigga gonna do, or something like that. It's like, how did you process the rhyme so fast? Come up with the multi-syllable rhyme that you nailed every syllable. It's that type. That's just Gemini high maximum functionality. Where they can operate in the moment like that on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So as Mercury, your mental processing and how you do things are starting to catch up. It'll probably catch up with what you're seeing, the information that you are seeing and collecting. Your mind will be able to analyze that at a higher, more effective rate.
100%. As your muscular system is trying to expand more, you get your mercury, your respiratory system, getting more help to fuel it, to get it to feel more and things of that nature. Not allow it to experience the negative side of Jupiter energy, which is inflammation, stiffness in the muscular system that prevents you from experiencing, because experiences lead to expansion, both physically and metaphysically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like a
Yeah,
great
hell yeah.
example of understanding how humans gain intelligence through expanding physically is watch a kid trying to learn. He gets to learn how his femur gets locked up in his bone and how he moves his entire body. It's one of the most like zodiacal mathematical experiences you ever see. He's like, oh, I gotta
Yeah,
move my
real talk.
hand with this arm this way. It's crazy.
Yeah, real talk, real talk. Yeah, bringing awareness to those things. Yeah, for
I gotta
sure.
figure out how to utilize my spaceship, yo. Mm-hmm.
Basically, exactly. And then Mars is conjuncting Chiron and
Wow.
Aries. This is some very intense healing that's going on. This is that in the movies when a nigga's talking some shit and a friend comes and boxes them to set them straight, to clear out their mind and type stuff. I feel like that's Mars conjuncting Chiron. It's your friend that's just talking some shit, or you're talking some shit, and the universe just comes and smacks you in the face, making. But it's healing. It's quick. It's abrupt. It's in your face. It's head on. But it's what you had needed to do to heal, to get past the situation, to align your desires, your wants, to heal your desires and wants. This is some type of shit. Maybe you have a desire that you've been going too far in. Mars and Aries, you be kind of going a little bit too much into those pleasures or too much of those basic desires. And then you get reminded with the old wounds that those desires can cause and what you've been trying to heal from and stuff like that. And it's like a rude awakening that you can't be in that state of being anymore. Reminding you of yourself, of your individuality, and coming into contact with that in a very quick physical way. It could even be on a line of you stubbing your toe, but you stubbed your toe going to go and do some shit that you weren't supposed to go and do, and it's like, oh fuck, but now you're feeling that pain, but it's like you know why that had happened. It's literally that type of energy.
So definitely watch out for making large mistakes because Mars could aggravate that energy really. it's like it's almost like you could bring experience a whole situation where you either have to be passionate or aggressive to see the how deep that self injury got in Carrion is and Mars at home in Aries. Man, you might like punch yourself in your face, and that would lead to a whole something else.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And definitely, I'll definitely be careful on Sunday. You know, maybe maybe, and it's the full coming up to the full moon. You maybe
Yeah.
relax.
In
You
a
know,
in a
take a breather.
mutable axis with Mars conjuncting Carrion, man, that's a recipe for disaster and all over the place. You would even know where the disaster came from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely
And with Gemini,
an
you
intense
try to think
alignment.
about it, and then in Sagittarius, you try to see the whole picture about it. But then Mars conjuncting Chiron, you feel it this way. It's like you're getting caught up all over the place.
Yeah, that's facts. If you look at the telescope metaphor, you're trying to adjust this telescope, but there's a nigga that's like right in front of the right in front of the lens. You know what I mean? That needs you to adjust that right
Mm-hmm.
now. So definitely, be careful. Be a little bit more quick at all your toes and willing to accept it and change and be versatile on these days on Sunday, to not let yourself get too flunked out and caught up into these things.
We That's very
Yeah.
important to be versatile
Mhm.
because mutable signs end every season, allowing us to fully conclude on a broader term of what we initiated and what we fixated on. This is why mutable signs always at the end. So you wanna have like a good way to reformulate everything you've been through with this Gemini season, because right after we're gonna enter to this summer solstice with Cancer ushering things in, and things would get really hot. You think Aries was intense and hot? Wait till Cancer come in.
Yeah, man. Real talk. We have the opposition to put. It's gonna be intense. That's for sure. You'll feel the heat then. That's for
Bro,
sure.
like people always question, how come a water sign starts the hottest season? How come it's not Aries and things of that nature? You're gonna see it's gonna be for a reason, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Real
It
talk. Real
reminds me
talk.
of like Naruto when you hear about the second Hokage, him speaking about how he utilized the water element, but you're like, this is the village of fire. So how come he just utilized the water element? He's because he's not from a water village. Yeah,
A
you
lie?
never question that. This is the same way I feel about Cancer being the beginning of the summer season. But he answers the best way because the water could boil real hot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yo, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it was a land of fire. Yeah, but yeah, and then that's even America. Look at America. Capricorn. I guess Leo's there and all of that. But you'll look at that place as a sun worship. As like a summertime. America. I wonder, would it be summertime? Kind
Well,
of, but definitely that Cancer type energy
the hardest thing is trying to formulate.
in terms of the
Yeah, yeah,
expressiveness.
yeah, yeah. Like Cancer is like a raw emotional expression.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is definitely that first initial relation when you started to even relate with other people. Creating that the first instance for friction to be created. Catching feelings. That's just the first type of situation where you could things get real heavy, and it's getting more to a collective level too.
This is why I think people who don't get along on the emotional level, most likely they don't get along on like a immune system level, because their immune system, Cancer, their fourth house, is telling him, "Oh, this is an enemy. Watch out," and things of that nature. Because you realize how
Yeah, that's facts. Because people with emotional
Because you
problems,
gotta realize a lot of people like develop.
yeah, people with emotional problems don't
Exactly,
talk.
a lot of people develop like a lot of health problems. Like a lot of it was like cancer, fourth house related. How sensitive their immune system was, continuously responding without knowing when to stop, when to pause. It's why Jupiter is expanded, exalted there, causing your immune system to learn about its surroundings. Or you might
Yeah,
end up with an autoimmune problem.
yeah, facts. Yeah, that's facts. And then look at having not having knowing how to travel that emotional realm, or how to deal with your emotions. Look how much toxic relationships you get into, and situations that you build up and don't address. That's literally like what's going on with your lymphatic system, where it comes to excrete all of those toxins out of your body. But if you don't have, they're not circulating through, aka you're not using your esoteric GPS, your emotions, to understand all the states of beings that you are in, all the slices of pie that you have a slice, and toxicity can build up, and it could be more for your emotions to handle.
100%, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And well, that's Sunday, and that's the what the week is looking like. So yeah, um, like and subscribe if you fuck with the content. Our website, truspace.biz. Check it out. We have some dope ass services, help you get spiritually aligned with the cosmos, all of that. Check out our Instagram, truspace underscore. Hit you with that daily esoteric content. And yeah, we're still kicking it.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. Peace out.